Welcome back, everybody, to yet another fun-filled episode of Katawa Shoujo. And at this point, the story could go in any direction. I know we're headed towards a festival that the whole school is gathering together, building up for. This is probably going to be the big event of Act 1, I'm sure of it. So we'll see if we get to interact with all the 6 girls now and see what's going to happen next. So we're going to load up from exercise. My morning alarm goes off and I flail about uselessly for a while until I remember that I decided to give morning runs another shot. Yeah, I flail a lot when I wake up in the morning. Half my covers are well off my bed and I'm like, what the heck happened last night? Jeez. I don't know if this was my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. This is about my health after all. Sure, things haven't been great lately for me, but that hasn't been made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's all about asserting some kind of control over this thing, right? Right. If I can manage that, well, I can manage anything. I can win the Olympics. At least that's what I keep telling myself. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone on my run. Emmy has apparently been here for some time. Man, she is an early flippin' bird. She probably woke up like 4 o'clock in the morning running. It's crazy. Looks like she's already worked up quite a good sweat. Just when the heck does she come down here anyway? Oh, it's you! I'm surprised to see you again. She thought I was going to quit after the first day. Oh, she's probably making bets on it with herself. Why is that? Well, not many people actually manage to come back for a second try. She frowns, seemingly annoyed by a passing thought. Like the rest of the track team, for instance. Ooh, wow. Okay there. Still, it was only supposed to be on a volunteer basis, so it's not that big of a shock. And I guess it's pretty early in the morning. A shrug, and suddenly it appears that she's forgotten what she was talking about. The frown disappears entirely, and she seems to snap back to her previous train of thought. So, come on then. What? You're here to run again, right? Well, yes. So come on. I found myself suddenly grabbed and yanked onto the track. Things seem to be set on mirroring yesterday's run. That is, I seem to be struggling, while Amy moves with an effortlessness that I find enviable. It's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. I know I should be patient, work towards things gradually, but it's difficult to stay positive about this. We round the track and start on our second lap. Amy seems to have grown impatient keeping pace with me and begins to pull away. This is where I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more? Oh gosh, I don't know. I could go for it, but then I could go for an early death. I mean, the nurse did say do exercise, but not overdo it. Like, no soccer, none of those crazy sports. So this could actually lead into something really bad if I try and go for it. So I'm going to take it easy. Because I don't want to lose the game this fast. I don't even know if there's any deaths or any early game overs. I don't know if choices will lead you to a death in this game. I have no idea. So this just sounds like I'm asking for an early game end. So I'm going to take it easy. I let Emmy go at her with her own pace, and she doesn't show mercy, pulling half a lap ahead of me in an instant. I don't blame her. I mean, it's not as if I'm really putting up any sort of real fight out here, isn't it? Instead, I'm just running at a steady pace, which is what I should be doing, right? There's no need to go push my limits at this stage of the game. Gosh, is this even worth it? As we finish the second lap, I break off again. Emmy keeps going, and it almost seems to me that she's disappointed. Well, that's stupid. I don't have anything to prove to her. Come to think of it, I've got nothing to prove to myself either. I'm just fine the way I am. What I'm not is a runner. This was probably a bad idea. Maybe there's something else I can do instead of this. Getting up early this early sucks anyway. Don't I know it? There's got to be some other way to keep healthy. Like sleeping in. That's always healthy. Walking maybe. Nice afternoon walks. Yeah, that sounds good. Running isn't for me. I wave to me and head back to my room. I'll think of something else later. Back in my room, the first thing I see is a familiar roll of medication bottles lined up at the top of my dresser, and it makes me depressed, as usual. It's annoying. I thought I was okay. I thought I had made my peace with this thing, gotten over it. But what I really did, I allowed myself to forget that I had a problem. Being here really reminds me of the reality, and trying to fight against it just hurts. Reflecting on it is only going to do so much. I've done this before, for months. It seems like it's time to get over it. If I allow myself to forget that my life is definitely not going to be as long as those of others, I won't get anywhere. My life may be different from others, but it is a life in progress. Life interrupted. That is how I'll rationalize it. I down the usual handful of pills, trying to push the sudden dreary feeling out of my head. Then I prepare to head out to the class early as usual. As I step into the hallway, I notice Kenji coming around the corner, stealthily making his way over to his own room with a large bag. As he sneaks past me, soundlessly like a ninja hiding in plain sight, I call out to him. Hey! He jumps at the sound of my voice. Oh, hey man, I didn't notice you were there. I'm really tired. I think it's more like he didn't see me, but that's not the issue. Where have you been this early? Shopping? Nah, I wasn't shopping. Sometimes I have to visit the math teacher, of all things. Yeah, I figured it would be a good idea to find out when the next exam is, since he tells you in advance if you want. So then, what's in the bag? I thought I'd go shopping while I was outside. I need supplies to continue the fight against the vast feminist conspiracy. This again, huh? Okay. I thought you didn't go outside. I wear a hat now. I decided not to point out that he is not wearing a hat. An awkward silence settles between us, and then Kenji breaks it by pushing his door open slowly, releasing a creaking sound into the air that only makes the moment seem more awkward. He sets the bag down inside his room and then closes the door. I'm surprised you went out of your way to find out a test date. Trying to take advantage of an opportunity to study is pretty diligent. I never study. Okay. I just wanted you to know when the next test day was. I'm still going to take it, duh. I need to know so I know that what day I can't afford to skip class. He usually sends out updates on that crap by phone, so I had to step out and check up on it. And why do you have to go out when you can get it on your phone? I don't carry a phone. What do you mean you don't carry a phone? You mean you just leave it at home? Nah, I don't use phones. I don't have a phone. Phones, I have no phone. Why don't you have a phone? How can you not have a phone? No phone at all? No phone? I just don't like phones. Actually, I'm kind of scared of them. I don't know why. I think it's some kind of repressed trauma. From the feminists, I'm sure. But basically, when I hear phone, I get nervous. It's my darkest secret. Don't you tell anybody. I have two theories on it. Either I have some fear of receiving some undefined, ominous, life-altering doom call, or was beaten with the phone in the past. Beaten so badly I can't remember it. Beaten in the head, most likely, and dropped a couple flights of stairs. Well, where else could I get beaten with the phone that would make me unable to remember it? The unexpectedly logical. I feel very depressed now. Since this conversation is more or less over, Kenji opens his door again and prepares to head inside. Yeah, I'm going to sleep, dude. Have a good one. Class is going to start in like 20 minutes. I already did something today. Too tired to go to school. Hey, you need some lip balm? I accidentally bought two because I thought the store had started selling individual AA batteries. Thanks, but no thanks. You probably already used them already. Whatever, man. He swiftly enters his lair, finally letting me go to class. For a change, I'm not among the first ones to come to morning class. Instead, almost everyone else seems to be here already. I recognize most of my class by their faces by now, though the names escape me still. The class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I've even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overly attentive. The first days, I was pretty high-strung in class. Muto finished his lecture about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. So, as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday, please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fried food! Everyone bursts out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikado. Sit your butt down, girl. I'm tired of you interrupting my class. But what I meant was more the remainder of the sentence is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Muto deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. That sucks when even the teacher just gives up and doesn't even bother teaching him. He's like, you know, you kids can just go and fail. I don't care about you all futures anymore. Just go ahead. Just go out there and fail at life. It's crowded in the hallway, or as crowded as hallways in this school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. Hisao! I'm gonna make you a one-time only, super extra special lunch offer. Why this all of a sudden? I just quit on you this morning. Emmy's homemade boxed lunches, and the privilege of enjoying them in private with 2 bombshell beauties. Ooh, I like the sound of that. Who's the second one? Her overtly flirtatious sales pitch echoes in the hallway, a remarkable feat since it's full of people. Emmy strikes a very confident-looking pose as though in an attempt to one-up her own ridiculousness, puffing her very modest chest and making the V for victory sign with her hand. Sounds delicious. To what do I owe this honor of being invited? You stood there looking really lost and sad, so I thought you could use some company. This is probably the most depressing thing imaginable. So how about it? You're probably really lonely and would eat that awful cafeteria food all alone otherwise. Yeah, especially since I burned the bridges with Misha and Shizune. They probably don't want anything to do with me at lunch. I'm kidding. Sure, I'll have your lunch offer. With pleasure. Let's go to the roof. The roof? Why the roof? Because that's where we eat lunch. And if I don't get up there, then she'll probably wander off, and then I just know she'll go hungry because she never packs a lunch for herself. Who will? Come with me. Without answering my question or waiting for a response, she grabs me by the arm and drags me through the hallways. I attempt to make conversation on the way. Why do you have an extra lunch? Emmy smiles guiltily. Actually, it's yesterday's lunch. I slipped in a run at lunch and forgot to eat it. Huh. So you're probably going to give it to me. Thanks for day-old food. That's awesome. The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door complete with missing padlock. I wonder who the interpretive individual that removed that lock. Emmy shoves the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. Hey, that kind of looks like Ren. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. Eek, hello. Yipes, you scared me, Ren. Wait, isn't she? Hello. Noticing that Ren is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look confusedly at Emmy. She's that friend of yours? Ren has turned her gaze towards the cloud drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds until Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off. I invited Hisao for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, does this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I have food for 3. Nice thinking. They walked to the under of the roof while I stood at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There's nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. A few rundown benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. The small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. I peek through the chain-link fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle and at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere, a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, the small town feel strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyle of big metropolises seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depended on it, or get their senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only 1 short year. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly, I haven't had time to think about how I felt about it. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear cerulean sky. Descriptions, man. The cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on a bench with Ren in tow and produces 1 big and 2 small lunch bags. Boxes from her bag. I wonder who the big one's for. Come on, Hisao! What are you waiting for? She's beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I seat myself on the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all 3 of us fit on it. Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places lunchbox in front of Ren and hands another lunchbox to me. Here you go, lunch is promised. Homemade, no less. I am impressed. Wow, this looks really good. Thanks, I make them myself when I can. Conversation dies off as I set about the business of feeding myself. Stuffing my... Ow! Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Ren deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a fork full of food into her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am in right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? What exactly is normal, Hisao, okay? Or does it just mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emi tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. Ah, gobble, snarf, snap. Rah, rah, rah. You seem pretty hungry. Rapacious, almost. Emi looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding. My morning run always works up an appetite. Which is great, because then I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. And your appetite. What would happen if you'd lose it? Would you become a man? I very nearly choke on my lunch, trying not to laugh. It's a figure of speech. Does your figure have to run in the mornings too? Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? Like what? I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, I struggle to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How'd you two meet? Ren seems content to let Emi answer this question. Someone in the housing department thought we'd complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another. Complement each other? Oh, I get it. Like shoes in a suit. One has no arms, the other does. One has no legs, the other does. Yeah. Someone thought they were real funny when they came up with that arrangement. Emi giggles at my confusion. Put us together and we've got all our limbs, get it? Haha, yeah, I got it. So I started helping Ren get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along. I see. Ren chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Really? Kind of? This isn't helping, but at least Emi seems to find the whole thing funny. That, combined with the fact that Ren is genuinely curious, makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms, so putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm going to just stop talking now. I'm just going to stop digging my grave. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Ren nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner. I see. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Emi finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise. Ah, that was good. As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Ren speaks up. I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry. With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Ren that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with pink color scheme. I'd rather have that. And keeps an equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. Ren dexterity stabs her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow I don't think either Emi or Ren are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Ren especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure. So Hisa, how do you like it up here? It's quite nice, actually. I like high places for the view. Thanks for inviting me up here, and for lunch, too. Emi grins a 1,000-watt grin, pleased by my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I won't make you lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch, sir? Oh, I don't know. Emi looks mock offended. Trying to take advantage of my good nature? The nerve. She giggles. Well, if that's her answer, I guess Ren and I will just keep eating lunch all alone. I am suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emi pouts. Kidding! I was kidding! I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Good location, and company's okay too. Emmy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. I guess this makes us friends now. Or at least acquaintances. The lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs. Ren, you didn't finish your lunch again. I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away. Ren shrugs as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. The afternoon class passes. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school. So I head to the library to return a couple of the books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday, all the more evident from the almost total silence enveloping the room. Oh, pfft, there's Yuko again. As I drop the books I borrowed into the return slot on the counter, Yuko suddenly pops up from behind it, quite startled from the banging they make as they hit the trolley next to her. She was sleeping again. On the job. Slacker. Ah, sorry, Yuko. Didn't mean to wake you up from your cold, dead sleep. No, that's fine. It happens a lot. I'm used to it by now. Can I help you? It's okay. I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay at the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wander down to the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I do, I look over the counter where Hanako has been the last time I was there, not really expecting anything to come of it. Surprisingly, though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decide against intruding on her like last time and get back to finding reading material.